Hey everybody, this is not actually a for real stream. This is more of just a tech test that I'm doing to check out some of the new features that I've been messing around with on the new XSplit beta, and also some stuff I've been doing to make future hey, echo. All right, first problem, let's fix that. Okay, echo test should be fine now. So there's a couple things we're doing here. So first thing is there's some new features in XSplit that I am attempting to implement, taking advantage of the rest of the guys being out of town for a while, so we have a little bit of time. And then there's also I've been working on doing some automation on the actual generation of the frames, and basically making it so that if, for instance, like we had the thing just, or not that recently even, but can I not point properly? It's always the opposite of what you think it's going to be. The Loading Ready Live up in the top left-hand corner is the Loading Ready Live up in the top left-hand corner used to be just say Loading Ready Run. Because it was at the other YouTube account, and so like half the streamers had it saying Loading Ready Run, and half the streamers had it updated to Loading Ready Live for people who actually mentioned it, or people who actually figured it out. So I'm hoping that now things will be we'll be able to change. I built a sort of template system, or not, I didn't build it, but I set up a thing in Illustrator where we make the template, and then wrote a little Illustrator automation script so we can like change the overlay and then run the script, and it will regenerate all the different the different overlays for all the different streamers. So hopefully that'll mean that everybody's nice and consistent. So the first thing that is different now with the new stream and one of the things that I want to get your guys' opinion on is, but actually this is totally irrelevant to what we're doing. Kind of an interesting point. The reason why I'm always like, oh hey, I'm gonna point at the chat. That's because we're used to, whenever you see yourself, you're used to seeing yourself. The only time you ever see yourself normally is in a mirror. And so you're used to pointing actually the opposite direction of what you should be pointing. But of course, a camera actually does a proper reflection of you, in that it's, correct and doesn't reverse everything, which means that it looks wrong to you. Anyway, the chat over here is now different. Instead of screen capturing the Twitch chat, which is what we were doing, we are now, this is now using one of the features of the new XSplit beta. We are actually directly embedding an HTML page of the Twitch chat, and it's not actually even the like official Twitch chat. It's a sort of a third-party chat that locks into Twitch's thing, because the actual for real Twitch chat doesn't at the moment doesn't work within XSplit, because it doesn't. There's something about how the for real Twitch chat uses Flash sockets to connect. I don't quite know how it works, but anyway, this is a chat system that was made originally for the Open Broadcast system, or whatever, OBS, Open Broadcast Software, I guess it's called. by an awesome guy named Knight, knightdev.com, who does like the better Twitch, better TTV plugin and a whole bunch of really great Twitch things. And so he made this special plugin here. I guess I could do something about the highlighting for somebody who says loading ready run. I mean, I don't know if that's a... So anyway, what it means is that we now have this chat and it's not screen capped. So there isn't that thing where it's like, oh, hey, the chat's on the screen. Or like, you know, the chat's always sort of in a slightly different place and a slightly different size or color. Or sometimes it's black and sometimes it's white and sometimes it's sort of like off center a little bit. So this way it should be consistent all the time. And the streamer doesn't have to, like if the way we had it before, if the chat window got closed on the streaming computer, when the streamer sat down to actually start his stream, you'd have to reopen the chat window and redo the screen capture. And only worked if the chat window was like a specific size and stuff. So theoretically, this will speed up the like transitional process as you know when one streamer goes to another streamer. So that's the hope. One of the cool things though about this is about both this chat thing and the new XSplit is that it allows me to inject custom CSS into the chat, and so and so this is how I've formatted it right now, which looks similar to what it was before. So, and I added the sort of stripy zebra striping thing to make it a little bit more legible, and I changed the colors and stuff. So, but I'm curious actually from you guys as to what you think of its legibility. I mean, I can change the size and the fonts and the colors and the, how much, if there, I can take away the zebra striping, or I could add, I was thinking like maybe it would be better to have, there's like lines in between the things. Here, I can show you what that would look like here. Doop, doop, doop. So there it is with lines as opposed to the zebra striping. I don't know if that's... So the big problem... the big problem with the zebra striping, it's not really a big problem, but the one issue with the zebra striping... Okay, we don't like the lines. The big thing with the zebra striping is that because of one of the limitations of CSS, and you will see this, we might not see it right away here, but we'll see it as more people start talking. Right. This is why we ask these questions. Zebra striping, or lines bad, zebra striping good. Got it. We can do that. Boom. All right, so yeah, you can see as it scrolls that the zebra striping is actually, because the CSS generates the zebra striping based on the number of messages, and the number of messages is actually constant. Like as new people talk, the old messages get thrown off, get removed off the top, right? So you don't have 50 billion messages. And what that means is that the CSS is generated by the number of messages on the screen, which is actually constant, which means that the lines on the screen actually stay in the same place as people talk, which is less than I like. Ideally, I would like it so that the stripes sort of move with, like, if somebody posts a message and it's striped dark gray or striped in gray, then that stripe would move with that message. It makes it a little easier to read. Unfortunately, that seems to be where it's a limitation of the CSS as it currently is, and with the CSS combined with the HTML that is available, as far as I know, there is no way to actually do that. So if somebody could figure out a way to do it using the HTML on the, you can see what HTML is being generated by the chat thing. If you just go to nightdev.com and go to the OBS chat, you can see what we're actually using here. Yeah, see, Elemental Alchemist, the problem is that I don't have control over the actual HTML that's being generated. The HTML is being generated by this other guy, Knight, his system. I mean, theoretically, we could do it ourselves but we'd have to like set up our own chat relay socket thing, and that's something that we're almost certainly not going to do, or at least not at this point. So let's see what else we got going on here. So like I said, the big thing that I've been trying to do this weekend is get things kind of automated so that we can take. So that if we want to make any changes to the overlay, which happens relatively often. I mean, this view itself, which I call the booth view, is a relatively recent addition to the Loading Ready Live family. Only like half the streamers actually even had access to this view, just because we hadn't got a chance to actually make it for everybody. So theoretically, now things will be, if we want to make a new view or want to make changes to the stuff that's around the screen or anything else like that, we can make that change, run the Illustrator script, and that will regenerate all the frames, and we should be in business. All right, so the other cool thing is with this new. So the other thing, which you haven't seen right now because nobody is subscribed, unsurprisingly, is that in the same way as the chat is embedded into the page, the subscriber notifier thing is also embedded into the page. So again, that means that it's not a screen capture anymore, which means that it's just one less thing that the streamer has to set up. So as soon as they open their presentation, it's all already there, and it'll have like little timer counting down and stuff. So that should make things much more straightforward. It'll make things much more smooth for the streamer to come on. I can show you. Wait a minute. I think I can actually do a test here. Can I? Aha. That's what it looks like. Woo. Test account. So it looks the same as it did before, but now it's actually directly embedded instead of a separate thing. Yeah, I think the cameras might be slightly off center at the moment. That is unrelated. Okay, so speaking of sound, actually, by the way, did you guys hear a sound when I did that? When I did that test sub just now, did you guys hear it go? Ding? Because that would be interesting. I'm not entirely sure whether the sound actually translates over. Oh, okay, perfect. All right. So, speaking of sound, though, there's something else I mentioned. I don't know if you look at the Loading Ready Live forum on Loading Ready Run. You'll see I posted. There's a sticky there that has the there's a sticky there that has all our stream specs for what hardware and software we're using. That I put up there a few days ago because everyone, lots of people were asking about it. And one of the things I mentioned there is that we have the thing where the audio is slightly out of sync, which is not that big a deal. Like it's only, I would say it's only like, maybe 3 or 4 frames out of sync. So it's especially in a view in like the sort of what we're calling the booth view or the sort of more close-up view or like checkpoint or something. It's a little bit more obvious just because the person on the screen is bigger. But so that's just to do with processing time. So, the audio comes in from we've got, all the audio comes into our mixing board here. And then it goes from USB to the computer, and then the computer actually receives the mixed signal, and then the video from the camera comes in to the computer as well and goes into the board, and then that all gets mixed together. Or no, sorry, the video from the camera comes in, and then the audio from the microphone that's right here also comes in. And the time it takes for the Blackmagic SDI card to process the video from the camera and the USB on the computer to process the audio coming in from the board is different. And that's just sort of a fundamental thing. That's sort of a fundamental issue with when you have your audio coming in from different stuff. It's actually a lot better. What you probably don't know, because we've been hiding it or fixing it, is that for our podcasts, up until very recently, so our podcast we record on the HDR FX1, which is our older. Still HD, but just it's older camera that has FireWire, and we're capturing it through FireWire. And FireWire has actually quite a high processing time. Oh, hey, novelty subscription! Thank you. It works! Yay! Novelty subscription. Thank you for subscribing. Wait, I can do echo voice. Novelty subscription. Thank you for subscribing. All right. All right. So, anyway, so when we did when we do the podcast, the audio comes in, the video is coming in it's exactly like the setup we have here where the video and the audio are captured separately, and the video is coming in from over FireWire, but FireWire actually takes quite a bit longer to process than or the FireWire capture system in the computer takes a lot longer to process the FireWire video than the SDI capture system in this computer takes to process the video. So what that means is that the audio and video were really out of sync. They were like a second or 2 seconds out of sync for our podcast, which doesn't look very good. So we would actually record the podcast and then bring it into like Final Cut and move the audio over, just like shuffle it over just so that it was in sync. And then what we decided to do is we took we actually took the output from the board. So we have another board, our sort of big board that we use for podcasting. We took the output of that board and ran it back into the camera. And then we captured the audio directly from the camera. So what that means is that even though it takes like the audio is like, or the audio and video is super delayed, so like the thing you're looking at on screen is late, but because the audio, you're capturing the audio directly from the same thing as you're capturing the video, they're actually back in sync. So that saved us some time. So I was thinking that maybe we could do the same thing for this stream, even though the difference isn't quite so bad. So I'm gonna turn the reason, actually that's the reason why there was the doubling at the beginning, so I was testing this. So I'm gonna turn this on and let me know what you think of whether the audio looks better. Now, part of the problem with this, and part of the problem with fixing this, and why it wasn't such a big problem before, is that there are the streaming process and Twitch's servers and transcoding and all this stuff introduces its own kind of lag stuff. So the lag is often not that noticeable, or it can be forgiven because of the streaming thing. So let's see what happens. And yeah, actually, we'll see whether the other thing to check. That's actually a good point, Malk, to see whether this actually affects whether game audio will now be out of sync, because that's probably worse. I don't actually know, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to using this other audio, and let's see what happens. Okay, so now you should still be hearing me, but now I should be actually in sync. Possibly. Here, I will clap. Hopefully that registered stuff. So, for one thing, what is it? Does this sound any different? And for another thing, all right, it's super quiet, and in the left ear only. Okay, but it is perfectly in sync. Okay, very quiet. Now, here, I'll move this closer to me so you can actually hear me while I'm testing this. Here, I'm going to run some game audio here. Let me know. So it's left channel only. That's interesting. The levels I can definitely fix. All right, I'm just gonna run a YouTube video on the gaming computer. Let's just run an X raised to Y, because everybody knows what those sound like. So I'm just gonna run and we'll see how that sounds, if that sounds different relative, if for some reason that sounds different. All right. All right, so this is the ways to avoid surveillance. So is really way loud than it should be? What do you think? Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine that it's quiet because that we can fix that. Like we can make the entire thing louder, as long as it's quiet, the same quietness. Here, 1 sec. I'm just gonna go away and tweak something on the camera. So 1 sec. Sorry about that, guys. All right, so this should be louder now. But we'll still only be on one side. I apologize for the feedback. That was not expected. It's centered now. It's odd that it's centered now. It's not on one side now, it's on both sides, not noticeably louder. Weird. Can I that's all jacked up. Says you turn up the right channel to match the left. Interesting. All right. Is that any different? Better? Worse? Hello? Better volume, nice and clear. Audible, Paul, bit better. So is it centered now? Whoa. I'm like, because of the delay thing I was talking about, I'm like speech jamming myself now. uh, doop, doop, doop. All right. I'm going to do one more tweak up a little louder. This way definitely does seem to introduce more hiss into the system, which is kind of crappy. Here, I'm going to switch back to the other one just for comparison purposes. All right, we should be on the other one now. Is that any better now? Or is that different, more differenter, to use the technical term? Yeah, so this is probably louder. Yeah, so this is back to where we were now. Do you feel like the volume of there's going to be hiss just because that's, the room noise and we have computers running and stuff. Like there's going to be some hiss, but, there's going to be some background noise. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but, the trick is I guess the volume of the background noise, the hiss or whatever, versus the volume of the actual thing that's supposed to be playing music. So now we're probably back. It should be probably back out of sync now. Okay. Yeah, maybe this actually was a bad choice for the YouTube thing. But anyway. Okay. It looks like... Yeah. I mean, I can change the volume of the YouTube thing. That's not necessarily... But, okay. It sounds like there is some additional complications here with introducing some sort of, background noise or some sort of hiss that maybe just that there's, the too much cable or something like that. So I'm going to leave it the way it is right now. Here, yeah, I'll clap to verify sync. I'm going to leave it the way it is, the way we have been doing it. I'm just going to leave it that way for the moment. And maybe I'll do some more experimentation on that later to see if there's a better solution there. But okay, that's good to find that out. Do we have a clapboard? Yeah, I think we do have a clapboard. We didn't have one for a very long time. Yeah. It is going to be out of sync, but if the I think a slight the little bit out of sync is certainly better than than additional noise on the line. I really don't want to have that, especially, we've got the air conditioner and all that stuff. So the less we can, the more adding even more noise to the line that's not necessary is definitely not what we want to do. So I'll experiment with that maybe a little bit on my own and see if there's a better solution to that. I'm wearing two sets of headphones because these ones are plugged into the camera and these ones are plugged into the board. I could actually have a third one plugged into the computer, but anyway. Wait, can I do this? Yes. Ha. Nope. Damn it. Kids, don't try to take off. If you're wearing two pairs of headphones, make sure you take them off in the same order that you put them on. That's just smart move, because otherwise their cords get tangled. There's some life advice from Paul there. All right, so let's see what else. I can just to demonstrate a little bit more. Actually, that's actually something we could look at here. So we don't currently really use a compressor on our thing, but our mixing board, this is this little mixing board we got, which is a Xenix X1204 USB, which is just sort of what was handy at the time. Something that we didn't notice, or that we didn't really think about too much when we got it, because we weren't really looking for that, but it does have a sort of little mini compressor in it. It's real simple. It's just like a little dial that you turn. But we should actually experiment with it, since that's what this particular streaming is all about right now. So now, in order to demonstrate, I guess, the compression, I'm going to have to be loud and then quiet, and loud and then quiet. So you might want to, adjust the volume on your computer or headphones appropriately. Hello. Okay, so I think this should be sort of no compression, uncompressed. I don't know what you call the difference. I know you compress it. Do you fatten it? This is fat signal. All right. So here we go. So this is talking at normal volume, and then if I'm say Alex, or I'm say Adam, or people who are who tend to vary their volume a lot. Oh my! Wow! What's going on? Oh! Woo! Ah! Bark! 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 It's my Alex impression. So there we go. So that was some loud noise. So hopefully that wasn't too bad. So let's try. So theoretically, actually, let's also try me talking really quietly. So how does this sound? This is very, very quiet talking. I'm just gonna take things down a bit now. Just relax. It's very, very quiet. I don't know what we should talk about today, but I just think that we should stay calm. That's great. All right, so that was all right. So that so far I haven't actually turned compression on at all. This is no compression. All right, so now I'm going to turn the compression. The compressor on this board is just the dial. So I'm just going to turn it up and we'll see what happens. All right, so what I'm hearing the background noise get louder in my headphones. So we'll see. So this is talking quietly now. Very, very quietly. Don't see really big deal. Let's see. This is louder in general. And then let's try some loud stuff. What's going on? Is this activating the compressor? Oh yeah, there it goes. I see the light go on. Wah! So did that do anything? I can't actually hear it really happen. It's my Yeah, I don't know if this is the most scientific test. But I can turn up the compression even more. So this is turned up basically all the way. And let's try this again. So this is talking at a normal volume. Doop-a-doop-a-doop. This is talking at a normal volume. This is talking really quietly because there's secrets going on. Oh, it's very, very quiet. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, this is a tough game that I'm playing right now. I am very annoyed at my game. All right. Then this is really loud. Probably too loud for everybody. Is this activating the compressor? Probably. I think it probably is. So I guess what the compressor does is it makes everything louder except when it gets too loud, and then it makes it quieter. Interesting. So that could be actually pretty good. Ironically, so frankly, I don't actually know whether the compressor is doing normalization or clipping. Like, it's literally a dial that you turn up and turn down. So it's not the most sophisticated compressor, that's for sure. But this actually could be pretty good. This might be a tricky. This might be something that we could do to, to make the volume a little bit more normalized. Ironically, I actually may have to turn it down in my headphones. I think, like, the thing with the streamers, say streamers can't click on links and that kind of stuff. I think probably what we'll end up doing is, like, we'll use this chat to, for you guys to see and for us to record on the thing. We'll probably still pop up the chat for the actual streamer to look at, just because, they can, ban people, and they can click on links, and they can see the, like, highlighted in red stuff, all that kind of stuff. So I think we'll probably keep the regular chat, we'll have it on the screen here so that the streamer can look at it and move it around to whichever side works better for them. Now, I talked about this before. I'm actually going to turn on the air conditioner here. It's not actually too warm today. It's quite nice in here. But I'm going to turn on the air conditioner just as a test. Now, I tested this a little bit myself on my stream a few weeks ago. But let's just try this again, maybe. All right, so the air conditioner's on now. That wasn't the air conditioner. That was just me. All right, so the air conditioner's on now. And the compressor is turned up all the way. So this is normal. And let's see what happens if so I can, again, this is not the most sophisticated board. We don't have a, we don't have that much control over the audio, but over the EQ stuff. But we can turn it down. We've got sort of low, mid, and high. So presumably the Honeywell comes in on the high. So I'm just going to try turning it down, and we'll see if that actually helps at all. So there, I turned the Honeywell down, or I turned the high range down. Now in my headphones, it sounds like it's gotten less, but the problem is, of course, that my voice probably loses its high end as well, which might not sound that good. So, yeah, this might sound kind of muffled. Yeah. All right. Well, like this is turning down the top, the low end. So now I lack my bass. All the bass doesn't belong to anybody because there's no bass anymore. But this doesn't sound like it's actually affecting the Honeywell at all. So that's definitely not what we want. So unfortunately, really, that's really interesting. It's it's weird because it's happening in the same room as me, so I can't really hear it that well. So I turned back up to normal. Yeah, I think unfortunately that the kind of white noise that the air conditioner puts out is almost impossible to kill with with just cutting certain frequencies, because it's a pretty multi-frequency noise, and also doing it while not killing my voice is the tricky part. So I think we'll probably just leave it the way it is right now. Actually, there's one other thing that might be worth trying. I don't know if this is a new feature of XSplit or one that I just didn't know about before, but let's see what happens if we turn on a silence detection. Which theoretically should kill the audio when I'm not talking. Wait, that won't work at all, because then the video game music was playing. Okay, forget that. Silence detection's dumb, or it's not what we want in this case. Also, it'll be like shh, shh. It'll be just distracting. So let's not do that. Yeah. Malk, actually, interesting. That's an interesting point. We tried. So I tried, actually. I was experimenting with I did a sort of a test of using the lapel mic as opposed to a regular mic, and the results were kind of disappointing. It wasn't the lapel mic actually picked up the air conditioner just as badly as the regular mic, and then also the lapel mic requires its own battery pack. So that if somebody's doing, I don't know, for example, a 36-hour stream, they're going to burn through that battery really fast. So unfortunately, it's not so good. Turn down the green screen. Wait, I can move that chair out of the way. Green screen doesn't look too bad. I don't know. What are the other things I wanted to test? So I can show you, for one thing. So we've set up here. So we've got, here's the booth shot. And we've got, there's the PC shot here. Doop, 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 doop. Wait, mouse and keyboard, mouse and keyboard, mouse and keyboard. ways to avoid surveillance there. And then there's, so this is for if I am playing a PC game. I can't see the chat right now. Wait, why don't I make like I said I was gonna do, and actually open the chat on another screen. Hey, there we go. Okay, so so this is a if somebody's playing a 16:9 regular widescreen video game or regular widescreen PC game, and then we can also go boip if somebody is playing a 3x4 video game, which is pretty cool. And that's the idea here, is that these different layouts are all in the same Twitch project now. So it's not like, Beige is always playing Wii games, so his thing is only set up to play Wii games. When was Loading Ready Run established? 2003. October 2003 was when we started. That's when Loading Ready Run began. If that's what you mean, that was like when we started our first videos. And then we've got if we are here's a 3x4 console, which happens to be a Wii right now. So again, we've got the chat there, and this time I'm looking this way, because it's on the other side of the thing. And then we've got if this was a 16:9 console, we've got that there. So the hope is that everybody is going to have the same. Everybody's going to actually have the same basic project, so that with just the overlays being different. So that way it will be with just like the graphics in the corner being different. So that way it'll be really easy. So, and then of course there's the going online, commercial breaks, and going offline screens. So that's so that's what we that's the way it's currently set up. So I think it's going to work pretty good, and I think that was all the stuff I wanted to test. So there's interesting stuff. Unfortunately, I remember like when we did when we were doing Desert Bus, when we did Desert Bus every year, we do like the tech test, and we try to get people to help us with, we do like the clapping and trying to get people to tell us whether there's lag or not, or how to do it and stuff. And it's always tricky, because of course you guys are all on your own systems, and you've got different types of headphones, and the latency, your actual stream is different, and that kind of stuff. So unfortunately, it's not definitive, but it has been informative for me. This is actually kind of, I don't know if you guys are curious about this, but so how we can do this, or how I can do this, basically, I did some research. So how we can set this up here is, so for one thing, I built a Illustrator file that has, the 4 layouts: the booth, the 16:9 gameplay, the 4x3 gameplay, and the splash, what we call the splash pages. So like the going online, the commercial, going offline. I put those into an Illustrator file, and then I put all the logos also into that file, and each logo at 3 different sizes. So we've got the sort of medium-sized one for the booth shot, the little one for the corner shot, and the ginormous one for the splash screen. set all that up, and then I was like, okay, so I set that up. Now I just have to, show and hide each layer. Show the layer, export as a picture, then hide it, show the next layer, export as a picture, hide it, show the next layer, export as a picture. And I did a few of those, and I was like, wait a second here. I'm on a computer. It's the one. That's the big thing computers are supposed to be good at, is doing the same thing over and over again. I shouldn't have to do this. So I looked into it, and one of the cool things with the relatively new versions of Illustrator, and I guess the Adobe Creative Suite as a whole, is that not only can you like have actions like you always used to be able to have, where we'll do like a bunch of moves all at once, but it's actually got a full scripting language in it, which is just a customized JavaScript. It's just like JavaScript with some extra libraries stuck onto it, and so you can it's relatively easy to build a script. I built a script that sort of shows the booth frame and then shows all the different layouts in order, and then hides everything, and then shows the next one, does all that, and exports each one as it goes. And so it can automatically generate those frames or those overlays for when we need them. So that should be handy. Then once we have all the graphics, then what we can do is, so as I've shown here, I've set up this project, or this presentation that I'm currently using. I've set this up as kind of a universal presentation, so it's got all the different views that we might possibly use, other than like the checkpoint ones, because those are sort of specific for checkpoint. So so we once we have all the graphics, sorry, I keep getting distracted by reading the chat. Once we get all the graphics, then I can take this, I can build this presentation that I'm in right now. Build it and make sure it's all exactly the way we want it, and so that it will work for all the different streamers. Whether you're streaming console games or PC games or widescreen games or 3x4 games, they can all use this one thing. And then I built another little script, which weirdly also in JavaScript, because Windows Scripting Host, I think it's called, WSH, yeah, also runs JavaScript. Apparently, like, JavaScript is the new thing that like everything is in, which is great because it is pretty straightforward as a language. So I built a little script that will take that take that sort of template, or sort of master template, and generate all the different presentations for the different streamers. And how you do that is something that I found out, which is, I don't know if it's like a secret, but it's something that I was like, oh crap, that's super cool. If anybody's used it, if anybody out there is also a streamer, and you've used XSplit before, this is kind of a cool thing that you might not know. So XSplit creates these, XSplit presentations are these files. They're called .bpres, I think is the format that they're, which is like broadcaster presentation, I think. And it turns out that that's just it's not like bpres is not actually a real format. It is, in fact, boom. This is this presentation that we're currently looking. Just in edit plot. Look, it's XML. Woo! A lot of XML. So what that means and so it's like plain text. It's not like some sort of crazy compressed binary format or something. So what that means is that I can go in and I can write a little script that just takes takes the master presentation, copies it, and then replaces, where it says like things on, where it says like it's looking for the things graphic, which is the things on my head graphic. I can say just go look for the GPLP graphic. Just do a like find and replace things with GPLP, and that fixes. So, why are we celebrating XML? I don't know. XML, okay, it's not the greatest format, but it is like human readable and human messable. So I appreciate things that are in like text file format so that you can actually dick with them, as opposed to like its own like proprietary format. So, yay! Also, the way that if you happen to be interested in this kind of thing, the way XSplit uses their XML thing is actually rather weird and atrocious. They have, obviously it's a system that they set up like a long time ago, and XSplit has added new features and they just kind of glommed it onto their file format. So anyway, I wasn't like excited about XML like as a thing. I was stoked that the XSplit format the XSplit presentation format is actually just plain text, because that means that you can then modify it with anything, right? You can once it's in plain text, that means you can do find replace. That means you can do regular expressions on it. You can do all that cool stuff, and it still works, right? It's not like it's some sort of weird binary proprietary format. So anyway, I'm happy about that. All these changes will hopefully go into play next week. I don't think Adam is going to be running on this stuff, just because he's going to be doing it for however long he's going to be streaming, and we're gonna. I think we want to. He's going to want to like just use the tried and true system that he has been using, and also because like nobody else is going to be around to. Or, for instance, I'm not going to be around to fix it if it breaks, which it's entirely possible it might. There's always a few little glitches to iron out these things, but hopefully we can switch over to this more automated sort of generated system in the near future, and that will be good. So I am going to I guess that's all I was wanting to talk about. Thank you all for coming and helping me do the tech test. I love that 274 people, apparently somewhere around there, I don't know how accurate XSplit's count is, are here to help me with the tech test. That's awesome. As you all most likely know, Adam is going to be streaming tomorrow, starting at 9 a.m. And then after which, I guess after the next thing after that will be Monday, when I'm going to be doing my the sort of things on my stream thing, and I have an idea. I wonder if I should probably tell you about this, so you can get ready for it. So my thought for things, and I'll post this in the forums too, so people who aren't watching right now can do it. My thought for things on my stream. If you've watched the show before, usually what I do is I do kind of a replacement for Checkpoint Plus, just because that's what sort of people expect to be then. So I kind of read out the stories that would have been on Checkpoint Plus, and then sort of talk about them a little bit, and then we do and then before I actually start playing the game. So I was thinking that maybe what I could do is what is sort of what we actually normally do on Mondays, when Graham and Kathleen are here, is that we meet here at the office at usually at like around noon, and we do the stories then. And we have about 2 hours to do the stories, which, if you are somebody who watches Checkpoint Plus a lot, is not always enough time, especially when there's if something's really long. But it seems to work out pretty well. So what I was thinking is that, I can, I'll be me, and you guys can be Graham and Kathleen. And so I'll go in I'll come in at noon, and we'll start the stream at noon, and I'll read out all my stories, and we can talk about them. And I'll also put them in like a Google Doc that will be publicly accessible, so you can get all the links and everything. And then we'll do something else, like maybe some, I'll do some like, answer some questions, or, shoot the shit for a bit. Maybe we could do some like Q&A type stuff for a bit. And during that time, and so I'll put them all into a public Google Doc, and then you guys can collectively write some stories. So you can take 4 or 5 stories and write them. So yeah, I'm going. This will be like not. It'll be like I'm making you do a bunch of the work, because that's how it goes. And so you guys can write some stories, and then we can sort of, between me and between the two of us, the one of me and the however many hundred of you, we can choose sort of 4 or 5 stories, and then I'll switch over to the like Checkpoint overlay, and maybe pull some graphics, and actually try to do like an episode of Checkpoint with me hosting, reading out your stories, because I think that might be kind of fun. So that'll be so I'll try to do that on Monday, and again I'll post on the forum about doing this, and I think that could be a lot of fun. Basically I'm gonna not do a bunch of work and make you do it, which I don't know about you, but it seems like a great idea to me. And then I'll be probably playing more Evo, The Search for Eden, afterwards, and there. So I will go offline now, but thank you all for checking out the tech test stream, and I hope you have fun with Adam tomorrow and the next day. He sent me a text earlier, actually. It was like, don't be surprised, or don't be alarmed if when you come in on Monday I'm like asleep on the couch in the office. And I was like, okay. All right. Talk to you later.